Calvin Muxlow here. It's 2025, January 2nd. Happy New Year! We're gearing up for the 2025 painting season, and I'm going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions right now. So the best way to get up to a third-story peak is with a boom, by far. We do have a 66-foot boom lift, so we want to get up there. We can get up there safely, harness in, you have all your tools up there. It's a really nice way to work. Does cost a little extra money, and of course it only works if we have the available space out front for the boom to be. It's a very heavy machine, so driving it around on the lawn or trying to squeeze it in between two homes is sometimes difficult or impossible. If we can't do it that way, the only way to safely do it is either to get a very long ladder, and with a ladder we're able to use that without having to harness up. Generally, we have to have two guys on site for that situation, of course, because if there ever was an incident, we want to make sure that it's safe. We are covered with WCB, so that ensures that if there is an issue that happens, it's not going to be on you, the homeowner. We also have all our liability insurance in place, $5 million liability, which is going to be something that you want anybody that's working on your home to have. So WCB, liability, using the right equipment, and making sure that you have somebody that's got the experience to get up there and do the job right. So when you're looking at your house, you want to look for some of the indicators that it needs paint. Flaking, failing paint is obviously the first indicator. The other one is fading, so people don't often see the fading until you put the real color up against it. Sunlight really does a lot of damage. Rain does a lot of damage. Any areas that are really exposed to the weather are going to require painting a lot sooner than other areas on your home. So for instance, some homes, they'll have failing paint on the south and the west sides, and the north side will be perfectly intact. It seemed like it's never been, seemed like it was painted yesterday. So with those situations, what we like to do is a maintenance coat, and the maintenance coat saves you a bit of money. The areas that don't really need paint, or the areas that really need paint, we're gonna go through, do the proper prep, scraping, sanding, priming, painting, making sure that those get 2 coats of paint on them so they have that protection that they need for that high weather area. And then on the areas that don't need paint very much, undercover on the north side of the home, we just go through and do 1 complete coat over everything. With the maintenance coat, what we want to do is we want to go through, do all the prep over the entire house, find any areas that are failing, scrape, sand, and properly prep those areas, do all of our caulking, then go through, spot paint all the areas that really need it, all the areas that have been prepped, and then do 1 complete coat of paint overall. So that's the most efficient way to paint it. If you're just looking for a quick repaint, it is going to refresh it. It's going to give you the adequate protection. It's going to give you everything that you need to make sure that your home is intact. You're probably going to get about another 5 to 10 years out of it. Darker colors also have an impact when it comes to the longevity of paint. So the darker your color is, the more sunlight that's gonna, the more sunlight it's going to take in, the more UV rays are going to have an impact on it. The lighter the colors, the more UV rays that paint is going to rebound. Interesting fact, titanium oxide, which is the pigment that we use for tinting paint white, is also the same ingredient when you look on the back of your sunscreen that we use to keep our bodies nice and free of sunburn. Other than that, I think your paint can last a lifetime if it's in the right place. You look around on the interior, it doesn't need paint. You will find fading on some walls in your home as a result of sunlight that comes through the windows. That's a really interesting one. Again, you don't really see it because there's kind of a natural transition as the sun moves around your home. But if you look at the areas that are heavily exposed to paint, and then you look at a wall that's not, and you take a sample from one and put it on the other, you'll see that there's a significant difference just as a result of the UV rays alone. So that's one of the interesting things about painting, especially with exterior, is that I don't think a lot of people realize how much impact the sun has, almost more so than the rain and the moisture that gets on it. The other thing that can have an impact on painting though is if your house, the cleanliness of your house. So if you're living in an area where there's high mildew, somewhere near a forest, somewhere near a lot of greenery, you're gonna see a lot more algae and a lot more organic growth on your home. And that actually gets in there, grows roots into the paint, and it's gonna pull the paint off as well. So cleaning your home, generally once a year or whenever you see that it's dirty, is important. It's kind of like washing your car. If you don't wash your car, you're gonna get rust. Same thing with your home. If you don't wash your house is gonna start to degrade, the paint's gonna start to degrade, you're gonna need to paint sooner. So general maintenance, easy to do, simple things to help increase the longevity of the paint on your home. Okay, so when it comes to painting your home, I don't want you to break your back. That's for us to do. So we got a lot of strong guys. What we'll do is we'll take care of all the heavy furniture. When we come into your home, what we want you to do is just take all the little stuff, the knickknacks, the little things that you can actually move, take them and put them somewhere safe in another room. Anything that's really important, irreplaceable, let us know about it, especially if you can't move it and we need to move it. With all the heavy furniture, as long as all the little stuff's removed off it, we got no problem. We'll shuffle it out of the way, do our painting in behind there, shuffle it back the same day. So the nice thing about that is you don't have to have all your furniture piled into one area of the house for 1 week. We'll just move it as we go. So we can usually get in there, pull a piece of furniture out, paint the wall in behind it. It takes about 3 or 4 hours by the time you get the dry time and 2 coats and all the prep, and then move the furniture back into place. Then we go to the other side of the room, move all the furniture in, paint that side of the room, and then we move it all back in. So nice and easy, no worries, stress-free, making sure that you don't break your back. Let us do the hard work. So the best time of year to paint is really going to be relevant to what it is that you're painting. So you've got different surfaces on your home and your exterior. You've got your siding, you've got your fascias, you've got your frames, you've got your doors, you've got your decks, you've got concrete patios. So there's all kinds of different surfaces that require different weather conditions for them to be appropriately painted in. One of the best times to paint is generally in the late spring, early to late spring. The temperatures are nice, between 10 and 20 degrees is really a good time to paint. You can get up to 30 degrees, so the paints that we use now, especially in the Lower Mainland, are formulated generally to be used between 1 degree and up to 30 degrees. So the nice thing with the 1 degree is if you need to paint your home for whatever reason in December, we get a nice December day, 5-6 degrees, beautiful weather in the Lower Mainland, and that's perfectly acceptable for painting your home. Hey, great question. So I'm really excited to tell you about that. My experience goes all the way back to when I was 25 years old. So I've been in the painting business for about 15 years now, actually painting for about 10 of those years. Every so often, I still do like to get on the brush and the roller. It's just a lot of fun. It's really calming. I wish the painting was the only thing I had to do, but there's the whole business to run as well. So when I was 18, I started framing. I've been in housing my whole life. My dad was a developer and a realtor, so I've always been around doing stuff on homes. When I was 25, I started a painting company and never looked back from that. Painting's always been something that was very appealing to me. I really liked to be able to be outside in the summertime. You're active, you're running around a house, taking big ladders, buckets of paint, and just following the good weather. So that's always nice about it. The other thing is, of course, in the wintertime, you get to go inside, you get to be in nice conditions, wearing a t-shirt, while everybody outside who's framing or doing other things are out there. Had my 7 years of that experience, don't need to go back to that. So we have a lot of great experience on our painting crew. My 2 partners both been painting for 35 years combined. I think my one partner, I went to high school with him. He started painting right out of high school. He's about 18 or 19, and he's been in it for 20 years. And Ryan, the other fella, he's been painting for about 15 years. So combined between the 3 of us, just as the owners of the company, we've got over 45 years of experience, close to 50 years of experience. We also have a couple of painters that we've been working with for a very long time. We've got Luke on our crew. Luke's been painting. I've been painting with him for about 8 years. I've had him working on my jobs. Fantastic painter. It's really been nice to watch him progress, and I've been able to really help him to learn some techniques and tricks, and he's been really practicing those, and he's developed into probably one of the best line cutters that I've ever seen. We've also got Greg. Greg's been around working with us forever. Greg's fantastic. He's a workhorse. He gets in there, cuts the lines, rolls out walls, and finishes a room in half a day. Absolutely fantastic painter. And we do definitely put most of our experience to work when we come to your home. We have a whole bunch of really good painters, and we have access to painters that have a lot of skill and a lot of background in painting. The type of paint that we like to use is definitely going to be dependent on the job. Generally, I always recommend going with the best quality paint, no matter which company you choose. So you've got a variety of companies to choose from. There's Dulux, Benjamin Moore, General Paint, Sherwin-Williams, Home Depot if you want to go there. They all provide a different range of paints, from your builder spec grade up to your higher quality paint. So Benjamin Moore's got their Aura, Dulux has their Diamond, Sherwin-Williams has their Emerald. So they're all really good paints at the higher level, and with the cost of paint being a fraction of the job, I generally recommend going with the higher quality paints on a job, just to make sure that you're getting the best, most lasting product. After all, at the end of the day, that's what you're left with, is the paint on the walls.